Hello everybody, it's Wendy, and today we are going to make a bracelet and earring set using some Murano and Lampworked glass beads. So I have a friend who is from Italy, and she has commissioned me to make 3 bracelet and earring sets for her to give away as Christmas gifts using Murano and Lampwork glass. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. So I thought I would bring you guys along on the journey. So our encouraging word for today is Philippians 2:13, and it says, I am at work in your life through the desires of your heart. And I love that scripture. I think that that is wonderful. God cares for us, and he wants us to have the desires of our heart. So he works through those things with us. All right, so let's remove the mat, the cover-up mat, and here's what we've got. So I've got this color that I'm going to be using. So this is some Millefiori glass. Here's some Lampworked. And then these are some handmade Murano or cane glass nuggets or barrels, and I have to give a shout out to Dixie Pattinson for turning me on to this lady that sells these. They are so beautiful, and I don't know if she still sells them or not, but she used to, and I bought a bunch of them from her, and I've got them all in this glass container because I just love to see them. They're so pretty. So they're actually sitting right here in front of me, all in this glass container. But we're going to be using some of those. And then, so you can use whatever bead you have, obviously. I have 2 toggles. I'm going to do a double toggle on here. So I won't be using both bars, but I will be using these. And the reason I do that is I have no idea what size this person is, wrist. So what I do when I don't know is I make the bracelet between 6.5 and 7.5 inches, and I put a double toggle on for a total of about between 7.5 and 8 inches so that they can adjust it if they want to. Okay, I have some really pretty check glass bicones here that we're going to be using with like a shimmer finish on them. I have some bead caps in an antique copper, some small ones, some large ones. I even have some little tinier ones. I'm not sure which ones I'm going to use. I have 2 antique copper ear wires, fish hooks is what I'm using. I have 2 wire guards, 2 crimp tubes in size 2. There's something on my mat right there. And 2 crimp bead covers in antique copper. And then I've got a length of soft flex beading wire here. Let me see how long this is. I do have a ruler right in front of me, don't I? And I just went and pulled mine out, but I like this one. So I've got exactly right around 11 inches of this soft flex beading wire. I have some antique copper jump rings. I've got some antique copper head pins and eye pins. Not sure what all I'm going to use. And then all my jewelry pliers. Okay. I think that's everything you're going to need. Now the other set that I'm doing, so that's that one. The other set that I'm doing, I'm going to be using these colors in the Murano glass, the Lampworked, and some fire polish beads to add a little sparkle. So that's that one, and I'm going to use silver with it. And then this last one, again, some fire polish, whoops, I just dropped one, and some Lampworked and Murano glass. So, and I'm going to be using silver with it. Now, for my silver medals, let me just tell you guys, I don't know if I'll do all 3 of these sets. Probably not on here because that would be a super long video. They're all going to be basically the same, just different colors. But I want to show you what I do for my silver. So I bought this from Amazon, Eternal Jewelry Coating. And it's a surface preparation or surface protector to keep your silvers from tarnishing, because all metals tarnish. Whether it's everything but stainless steel tarnishes. So what I do is I dump some of it in this little plastic container. And I have 2 of these that I use. And it kind of messes them up. As you can see, it takes them and like makes them cloudy. But I put a little bit in there, and then I put I've done all these bead caps already. So I put all my silver in there and you know, swish it around a little bit, get it coated really, really well. Then I dump it out on a paper towel and let it dry. And I make sure that any silver that I'm going to use, or, you know, I don't do it so much with gold and copper and antique bronze, but silvers and rose gold usually too. I coat in this stuff because I do not want the metals to tarnish. And not everyone understands that metals tarnish. People think, you know, when they get your jewelry and then it tarnishes, they think it's not good quality stuff, but that's not the case. Unless you're using stainless steel, you know, it's going to tarnish and will need to be cleaned up, but not everybody gets that. So I coat it in that stuff. That stuff's about $14.99 for, I don't know how much this is, a little tiny bit, but it doesn't take much either. I mean, to coat it. And once I coat, like, I did all these bead caps. See all these bead caps here? I coated all these. Well, I coated all the silvers that are up there. They're all laying on my thing. And so once I coat them, I will put these, if I don't use all these, I'll put them in a separate container that has coated, it's labeled coated metals, so I'll know that I've already done it. So anyway, I do that for all the silvers. I just wanted to throw that out there. But today we're using copper, at least unless we do 2 sets, which I don't think we're going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start stringing this. So I've got a bead bug, or bead buddy, whatever you want to call them here. And I like to use these because they keep all my beads from falling off the end of my wire, which is very frustrating when that happens. Okay. Oops, I got an extra one. Okay, so I'm going to put this little guy out here. And then I'm just going to string this up. So I've kind of laid it out. You know, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 inches here. Now, when I put them together, it's not going to be 8 inches because these are going to go together a little bit more. So we'll measure it here in just a minute. But first of all, I'm just going to string them on. And I'm not going to put my closures on yet because, you know, I want to string them on first. I'm going to string all these on. I do want to use a bead cap though. I've got these little tiny bead caps, and I think I'm going to use these on the bicones. I think they would be really cute on the bicones. So let's put one of those on first, actually. Okay, and then the bicone. Whoop. Can't hang on to anything today. I've dropped everything. Okay. It's been a minute since I have made a video, or at least a tutorial video. We went home for Thanksgiving, which was nice, and got to see Chris's parents are in Florida, so we're going there next week, or this week, the end of this week. But we got to spend Thanksgiving with my parents, and it was really nice. So my dad, who is a kidney patient, he's on dialysis. He's doing really well, which is nice, and so it was a good visit. I took my carpet shampooer and shampooed my mom's carpet as an early Christmas gift. And then if you saw the video that I put out yesterday, which would have been, what is today? I don't know. I'm confused on my dates. They're all running together. But anyway, my aunt and uncle gave me a huge bunch of really cool vintage and just really cool, interesting beads. So I showed a bunch of those on that video, and I asked for help from you guys in identifying a lot of the gemstones because I don't know what they all are. So if you want to watch that video and help me out by identifying gemstones, and if you already have, thank you. I have not had a chance to get on there and look yet today. It's just been busy today, but if you did or you want to, I sure appreciate it because I don't know what they all are, and I really would like to know and have all that stuff labeled. So I'm just repeating my pattern, basically all I've done. I've strung up this side, I got the big focal bead in, I'm stringing up the other side, and then I'm going to look at the length. And that's the way I do it. I string it up first, and then I look at the length. And I hope I have enough of this soft flex. If not, I can grab a different color and use it. This is all I have of this color, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm just putting the bicones on with their little bead caps. I'm going to get the square bead on, possibly. Did I say about... Oh, I did right here. Okay, earring beads. Like, I don't even know if I saved out the beads for the earrings, but I did. Okay. I can lose it some of these days, I'm telling you. Some days I just am about half here. I need to get this done. We're leaving Friday for Florida, so I've got to get this done before then, or she's not going to have her bracelet by her sets by Christmas, I'm afraid. All right, so I'm going to lay this out here in the thing. I don't use these boards a lot because they tend to confuse me, but when I'm doing a bracelet for somebody else, I figure I better get it right. So, all right, so if I've got my focal bead right in the middle, I'm just going to check to make sure that everything matches. It does. So I've got about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 inches right now with this bracelet. I like to really not have them that long, and because I want it to be a little bit adjustable for this person. So I think I might take off my end sets of bicones here really quickly. And see what that makes it. That makes it right at 6 or just a tad over, which is probably better. I really don't like ending it like this though, so I kind of hate to. Let's see, what can I do with this? What can I do in this situation? I could put one bicone back on without the bead caps, but that's really not going to make that much difference. I don't know, it might. Let's look and see. I just kind of like an ending on there more than just the little square bead. Okay, so let's lay it out. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and close to 7. So that's a little bit better. Let's just leave these bicones, or those, what you call it's off of there. Now, that's probably okay. And you know, even if I put the bicones back on, I think it will be okay. These things tend to draw up when you it never fails. I always think, oh, I've got that long enough, and then I find I don't. So I am going to put these little bead caps back on the bicones, and then I think it'll be okay. I really do. I'll put my toggles on, and then we'll see what it looks like. But I think even if I only had to put one toggle bar, I don't know. We'll see what happens here real quick. But I really like the bead caps on there. It just adds so much to it. And even at that, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's about 7 inches with them on there. So, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my bead bug over here so all my beads don't fall off. And I'm going to finish this end. And the way I do this is I take this wire guardian. I take my crimp tube first. And you're going to need crimping pliers for this it's best if you have them. So I take my crimp tube and put it on the soft flex. Then I'm going to take my wire guard and I'm going to go up this channel with the soft flex, around and into the other channel. And wire guardians they do exactly what they say. They protect your wire from fraying or, you know, extra use or whatever. Okay, now I need to put my toggle on, or one part of my toggle. So let me take this toggle bar off. I don't need both of them. So if you've never made an adjustable or a double toggle, it's super easy. You just need one bar and 2 or 3 or however many rings you want to use. So, okay, so there's my toggle. Now, I kind of would like to hook it directly on here. And I think I will with this one. So in order to make this lay like this, I need to go in this way. I always have to think about these things. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to put the toggle this part directly on here. Now, you put it in there, and then you take your crimp bead and you go back down through it. So both of your little soft flex wires are in the channel. I'm going to pull it up a little. I don't really need that much wire down there. I want to have enough to do the other end really well. Okay, so crimping. Let's talk about it. It was the bane of my existence for a long time. I have since, even though people think that I haven't figured it out, I have. So there was a Facebook or a YouTube post here a while back where somebody was like, yeah, but she doesn't know how to crimp. Yeah, actually, I figured it out. So I have conquered crimping. So what you do, I like to take the little wire guard and bend it in just because I like the way it looks better when it's kind of bent together. You take your crimp bead and you scoot it up here as far as you can get it to go. And you make sure that your wires are laying side by side. Let me see if I can zoom in. I can. Okay. So you make sure your wires are laying side by side. That's kind of what's important in this situation, because if they're crossed, then this crimp tube isn't going to create the two little wire channel thingy that you want it to create. Okay, so just try to watch. Make sure they're side by side. And then I take it and I put it in the very last divot of my crimping pliers. I pull up and I crimp it down, okay? And when you crimp it down, see what it does? It makes a little divot there, and it puts one wire in this side and one wire in that side. Then you're going to turn it sideways, and you're going to put it in one of these little channels. I usually use the second one. I think the second one's for a size 2 crimp tube, which is what I've got. And you just mash it down, and it puts it together and makes a beautiful little crimp. So see, I have mastered crimping. Okay, and now I'm going to put a crimp cover on. Now the other side won't be that easy. The other side's always harder because you don't have enough room, as much room to work with. But this first side, it's pretty easy. So I take my little pliers and I put this little guy in here, and then I'm just going to insert him right over top of the crimp. And sometimes he's a little fiddly and you have to play around with him a little. But I insert him right there, and then I'm just going to take my pliers and I'm just going to close it right up over top of it. And you may need to play around with it a little. That one actually went pretty good. Okay, so now I leave this piece of wire. I don't cut this off. I like to thread this down in my beads. I just feel like it gives it some security. Gives me some security. Maybe that's what it is. If it won't go down in your bead, then obviously you're going to have to cut it off. Let me see. I don't know if it's going to go down in the spy cone. No, it doesn't want to. So I'm going to take my flush cutters. I'm going to cut it off right below this bead cap. And then I'm going to scoot all my beads down. Okay? So here we have it. Now, something that's important, or I think it's important. Let me show you something. See this? I have my beads pushed. I have everything pushed down, and look what it's doing. It's stiff. It's laying weird. You got to be careful. You don't want there to be a lot of extra room in your bracelet, like, you know, for things to flop around. But you also don't want, you know, you don't want it to be stiff and weird looking. So I'm going to lay this back on my thing now, and we're going to take a look. So I have got, from my middle bead, okay, I've got 2, 4, 6, almost 8 inches. By the time, I mean, I get my clasp on, I've got, let's see, 2, 4, 6. Yeah, I mean, we've got 8 inches easy. So I'm a little worried that if I don't, gosh, it looks small though. I don't care what the thing says, it looks small, and I feel like that I don't want to make it too tiny. So yeah, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna take any off. I always do that and then I regret it. I'm not going to. Okay. So this is how I work, guys. It's crazy. All right, so we got our bar here. Now, something you have to note about your toggle bar is when you get your toggle bar on, if he's way down here close to this, then this is not going to go through your ring because the bead following your toggle is big and it's not going to go through there. So we have to be a little careful. We may want to put a jump ring on between our bar and the beads here. So we'll see. So the first thing we're going to do is just go ahead and close this up. And I never do this right through the toggle bar, okay? You just don't want to. I forgot I'm zoomed in. Let me zoom back out a little. You don't want to put this directly on your wire guardian because then you have no room for adjustment if you need it, okay? So don't do that. So just crimp it. So we're going to take our crimp bead, put it on here. We're going to take our wire guardian. You can always use a small jump ring or a small split ring if you want, and put this on. And then if there would be any reason why it won't go through the ring or whatever, you would have an option to add more jump rings. If you put it directly on your wire guardian, you're stuck there. And I don't know why the soft flex is not wanting to go through this wire guardian, but it is not. Please go through. It's the same size as the other one. You wouldn't know it, but it is. Why are you doing this to me? They were in the same package. Let me see if I can get it to go through here, because I don't think I even have another copper one. Okay, there we go. Tack on. I've really never had one be that tight before. Always something's got to happen in my videos. I swear I can never just film a video and it go well. There's always got to be some weird thing that happens like this. This is weird. I've never had my wire guardian do that before. Okay, down the other side. Let's see if we can get it to go. I'm going to trim it off because I just messed up the end a little bit. Okay, try this. Okay, that one's a little easier. I don't know what the deal was. Maybe I had a... It's still tight, but not like as bad as it was there a second ago. Okay, so we're just going to go around our wire guardian. We're going to take the soft flex and go back through this crimp tube and through the bead cap. And I already know, or I think anyway, that it won't go through my bicone because it wouldn't go through the one on the other end. The hole's too tiny. So I'm going to take it right down through here and just pull. Okay, now you want this to be as far up as you can get it. And it is a little more difficult on this end because you just don't have the amount of room to work with. But I'm going to close up my wire guard just like I did on the other end. And I'm going to check this. I'm going to make sure it moves and it's not bound up somewhere and there's not a bunch of extra room. So see, this could actually be pulled up just a tad, and the way to do that is grab it with your pliers and just give it a yank. Okay, and I think that that's pretty good. There's still a little bit of room between. I don't like this room here between this, so I'm going to take this and hold it and try to pull. See if I can get it a little tighter. Okay. I just don't want there to be a lot of room between the bead cap and the little crimp tube. I am going to put a crimp cover on though, so I guess I need to figure in for that. Okay, so now that I've got this pretty tight and pulled up, I'm going to take it. Now you want to try not to have your beads crossed. If any way possible, it's kind of, or not your beads, but your wires crossed. It's hard to tell sometimes if they are, but we're good there. We're going to turn it sideways and we're going to crimp it closed really well. Okay, I am going to cut this off. And there we have our little bracelet so far. Now my crimp bead cover, I'll take him. And I'm going to put him right on here. Now I am going to shove that bead cap down just a little so he's got room to fit. And I don't always do this totally with my pliers. I like to get it kind of on there with my pliers and then maneuver it around with my fingers because I want to make sure that it goes completely over top of the crimp that's already crimped and is not crooked. These tend to like get on there crooked if you're not really careful. And see, he's having trouble. So let me take him off. Watch him not come off now. You don't want to come off. Okay, there we go. And let me just make sure that this is crimped really good, closed. I think it is. Yeah, it is. It's looking good. And let me put him on again. And again, this crimp bead is the same size as the other one. So I don't know what the deal is today. It's just got to be always something going on in my video. So what I'm going to do with him, because he doesn't want to seem to go on there, I'm just going to try to open him up a little bit. I may just grab another one just because I don't feel like fighting with it. Where are they? I just rearranged my desk. So I need to do an updated craft room tour because I've rearranged things like a bazillion times, but I find this happy medium for a while, and then I'm like, okay, this has to change. And so I change it. But let's try this one. Should be the same as the one on the other end. We'll give him a try though and see. This one may be better. No, these are having a hard time. I had an easy time on the other end and no problem at all. And now I've got weirdness going on up here. Let's try this one. Okay, maybe this one's going to go a little bit better. Seems like it, but I don't know. I didn't crimp it weird. I mean, it's crimped normal, just like the other one was. Okay, I think it's on there. Just try to make sure that you have it. I don't like it when they go on crooked. That looks pretty good, though. I think it's on there now. Yeah, there we go. Closed them up. Okay, boy, that was a trial. Got it on. Okay, now, so your toggle bar. So if we put our toggle bar, let's get this around. If we put our toggle bar right here, and I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to grab a small copper jump ring. I have some tiny ones here. And I'm going to grab a small one, and I'm going to go ahead and just put this toggle bar on, and we'll see if it does okay. Because I'm telling you, it's the worst thing to put these on, and then you're like, you cannot get it through your ring, and you've already crimped, and you've already done all this, and you're like, oh crap. So that's why I never anymore crimp it to the wire guardian. I always use a jump ring. Okay, so let's put it through here. And it does go. So there we go. And let me try this on. I just want to see. Yeah, it's a tad loose on me, but I have a tiny wrist, so I think it's pretty good. And I am going to put the double toggle on. And if I measure it, it's right about, let's see what we got here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's right about 8 inches. So it says that it's longer, but I don't know. Usually 8-inch bracelets don't fit me, so I'm not sure why it's acting like that it's longer, but that is what it says. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take the toggle bar off of this one, this ring. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to hook this ring onto this ring just with a jump ring, just like this. Okay, nothing fancy. Just hooking it right here and right on here. And you've got, close that up, make sure it's closed good. And you've got an adjustable toggle. So now they can either put it in here or they can take it and put it down here. Okay, that's really big, but...
From Chris, time for breakfast.
Chris says it's time for breakfast. Did you hear that? I'm glad, because I'm starving. Okay, so probably what I'm going to do is make some little dangles to put on the end of this. So I'm going to go eat breakfast, and I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back, and I've had coffee, and I feel like I can go on with life. Okay, so I've got some head pins here, and I'm just going to make a couple little dangles to put on here, just something cute. Those are earrings. I don't want to mess with that. So let's go with we'll do a few of these little bicones. So I'll do a head pin, or a bead cap, a bicone, and a bead cap. Now, usually for these kind of things, I like to use ball head pins, but I don't have any copper. So I'm just going to do a regular wrapped loop with this. So to do that, I bend my head pin at 90 degrees, and I take my round nose pliers, and I come in here, and I come up, over, and around. Then I'm going to insert it directly onto here, and I like to do wrap loops on these just because I feel like they're a little more secure. So we're going to put it right on there. Then I'm going to grab this back with my plier and try to go around like this. See, it makes the loop, and you trap your piece onto your toggle, And then I'm just going to take my other pliers and I'm just going to wrap a couple of times around, just so that it's nice and secure. Okay, and I'm going to cut, and make sure when you cut this off that there's no jagged edges or anything. Okay, when you cut it, you want to kind of feel it here and see if there's anything jagged that you need to tuck. Okay, so there's that. So that's one little bicone, and actually I think that looks cute. I'm just going to leave it with that, with just the one. I kind of like it with just the one. It's simple. So, you know, they can take it, they can wear it on this one, or if they would like a looser bracelet or they have a bigger wrist, they can put it down on this one, which is, you know, that would be pretty big, but you never know. Somebody might like them really loose or something, but it does give them the option. Okay, so now for the earrings. The earrings are super simple. I've got my fish hooks here. I am going to use eye pins and head pins, I think. I'm going to use eye pins for sure, so let me grab a couple of eye pins. And what I want to do is I want to recreate this little dangle that I just made on here on the bracelet. So I'm just going to take these. Now I'm out of these bead caps, which is sad. I have a couple left. Just 2 is all I've got left. I don't think I have any more of these. Oh yeah, I do. Oh my goodness, there they are. Oh good, okay. I wasn't liking that a bit. Okay, so I'm gonna just take my head pin here, and I'm just gonna make a wrapped loop just like I did on that one, on the little bracelet. And this is just gonna dangle off the end of the earring. Okay, so just like this, same thing. Bend it 90 degrees. I like to use my crimping pliers a lot of times with these finer little bends and stuff. I don't know, I feel like I can get in there a lot better. I'm going to go up over. Now this one I can go ahead and close it up because I can open my eye pin and put it on. I don't have to put it on right before I close the loop, which makes it a little bit easier. And I'm just going to wrap a couple of times, just like that. Take my flush cutters, trim that right off, and then tuck in anything that looks like it's sticking out. Okay, so now I have my eye pin here. So there's one little wrapped loop. So I've got my eye pin, and I have these beads. So I've got some of the cane beads, some of the millefiori, and the bicone. So I just put my bicones on the bottom here. I don't think I'm going to use those, but I think I will take this millefiori rondelle and the cane bead, and maybe I will put a bicone on top with the little bead caps. That would look good. So we'll do the bicone on top here. Just a very, very simple pair of earrings. That's all I'm doing. But they match, you know, they'll match the bracelet really well. So I'm going to go ahead and take this. I'm going to create a loop. Just a regular loop on this one. I'm not going to do a wrapped loop. Going to roll this right back. And I don't like that loop. It's too big or too far from my pin. So I'm going to trim a little bit off. I like my loops tiny. Now I'm going to roll it back. That's better. Okay, yeah, much better. Okay, and then I'm just going to take my ear wire. I'm going to go ahead and open this up. There we go. Going to put this one on here. Close it up really good. You don't want anything falling off. And then I'm going to take this one here and I'm going to open it. And I'm going to hang my little wrap loop dangle right there. And close it up really good. And there we have a really cute little earring to match our little bracelet. Okay, so I'm just going to put the other one together super fast. These are so easy. So I'm just going to take my head pin, put my bicone on. I have on my website, I don't sell this kind of millefiori glass, but I do have a lot of really pretty ceramic beads in really pretty patterns that would be pretty for this kind of a bracelet. If you're looking for something a little bit unique, they come in a bunch of different, I've got them in several different colors. There's like a purple and blue one mixed. There's I think a yellow and green mixed, and then a multicolor one that's really pretty. But they would be really pretty to use on these bracelets as well. If you don't have Millefiori glass or, whoops, Lampworked glass, and you're looking for something kind of unique, those are really pretty. I can grab them here in a minute and show them to you. Let me put this earring together. So, how did I do that one? Where'd it go? Okay, so I have the rondelle on bottom. I can't remember. Yeah, rondelle on bottom. Then our cane glass. And then our little bicone on the top. So this is the first set that oops, I don't want that on I want that on an eye pin. Yeah, about did that wrong. I just about put it on a head pin, which would have been not very good. So this is the first set that I'm doing. Like I said, I'm doing 2 more sets for her. I may go ahead and film them too, because they all turn out so different looking. Okay, let's go ahead and make a loop here. Just like that. And then we're going to take our ear hook. We are going to put this right on. Close it right up. Always make sure your connections are closed really well. A lot of people don't know how to put this back together. So if you're, something falls off, they just think their jewelry's broken. They don't realize that, sometimes all you have to do is open a ring and close it. We would have people bring jewelry in when I worked at MHR Designs, and they would bring it in and they'd be like, this is broken, and all you had to do was like put it back on there a little. Open the jump ring and put it back on. But, most people don't know that if they don't make jewelry. So there's the earrings. And here is the bracelet. And I will lay this right here for just a second. Oops, let's move this out of the way. Let's see if I can do this without knocking everything over. Okay, I will lay this right here for just a second. You all can take a look at it, and I'm going to go grab those beads and show you. Okay, so I just grabbed a package of each color so you guys can see them. So these are for sale on my website, and they are really, really pretty. These are my favorite right here. Look at these. Aren't these gorgeous? They're like kind of an irregular round, multicolored ceramic bead. But they are so, so pretty. So I've got those. I've got these kind of oval, twisted, purple and green ones. Then I've got these that are kind of a multicolor teal too, but they don't have as much of the reds and stuff of these have. And then I have this, whoops, spilling stuff. I have this pink and yellow one, and this green and kind of lime green and turquoise. So those would make really pretty versions of these, just because they're just different, unique kind of beads. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I probably will go ahead and film the other 2 just for the heck of it, and you can kind of compare and see how different these neck or bracelets all turn out to be. But I really think they turn out cute, and this Millefiori glass is just so unique and beautiful. So if you enjoyed the video, please like it and subscribe. When you hit that like button, it really does help me on YouTube's algorithms. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 12,000. I'm getting pretty close. And if you ring that bell, it notifies you when I upload. If you don't ring the bell, you're not going to know when I upload videos. So yeah, ring the bell. All right, guys, I've got a bunch of good stuff coming up. So we'll get to that here in a little bit, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.